Okay, before you decide to invest a single cent or even a single minute of your team's time into a huge system like Odoo, you really need to hear this.
The stakes are they're astronomical. I mean, we're not talking about picking a new email app here.
No.
This is like adopting a digital central nervous system for your entire business.
Yeah.
And if you choose the wrong one, or even the right one at the wrong time,
It can be a catastrophe.
it could be a multi-million-dollar mistake that could destabilize years of your hard-earned growth.
Absolutely. So today we are diving deep into a stack of expert advice, all focused on Odoo, and specifically on one question: its suitability. Our whole mission here is to give you the shortcut. Who is Odoo actually for? And maybe more importantly, who should just, run in the other direction?
And for you listening to this is essential. We're boiling down the answer to a fundamental question. Is this powerful tool going to make you more efficient, or is it just going to bury you in complexity?
Right. All right, let's start at the beginning. Let's unpack the system's identity. Our sources all agree on one thing right away. Odoo is a very powerful ERP system.
And that's not just marketing speak. Powerful in ERP terms means it has really deep functionality.
Across dozens of different modules, right?
Exactly. Accounting, inventory, sales, manufacturing.
Yeah.
It's all there. And it's built to handle massive scale and complexity. It's the heavy machinery of business software.
But, and this is the tension that drives this whole conversation, right? The advice immediately warns that despite all that power, Odoo is not for everyone. So if it's so powerful, why wouldn't everyone want it?
Because power demands discipline. Complexity needs a certain level of organizational maturity to handle it.
Okay.
And we can actually see who it's for by looking at 3 specific conditions from the sources. These are the green lights, the yes cohort.
So let's get into the first one. Odoo is a good fit for a growing company. That sounds a little intuitive, but what's the real strategic implication there?
The implication is massive. It's basically an investment in your future.
Okay.
I mean, think about the pain of migration. If you're small and you pick a simple tool, you're going to outgrow it. It's inevitable.
And then you're stuck. You've got to move everything, all your data, your history.
Exactly. The cost, the downtime, the data cleanup, it's a nightmare.
Yeah.
Odoo is for the company that sees that coming.
So if I'm a small company today, but I have a real plan to, say, double my revenue in the next 3 years, Odoo is sort of like operational insurance.
That's a great way to put it. You're building infrastructure for your ambition, not just for your current size. You install it once, and then you just turn on new modules as you grow.
Which saves a ton of money and headaches down the line compared to, duct taping new systems together every year.
Right.
Okay, that brings us to the second condition, which is about structure. It's a good fit if you have multiple departments.
And this pushes back against that whole best-of-breed idea,
Where you get the best CRM, the best inventory tool, the best of everything.
Right. But the cost of that is fragmentation. Data silos. Your sales team has one set of data, your warehouse has another, accounting has a third.
And someone has to manually stitch all that together.
All day, every day.
Yeah.
It creates lag, it guarantees errors. It's where productivity just dies.
So Odoo's whole philosophy is to kill that problem from the start.
Exactly. It's built on a single shared database.
Yeah.
A single source of truth. When sales makes a sale, inventory knows instantly, accounting goes instantly. It all just happens.
It forces a kind of centralized management.
Which is exactly what a company with multiple departments is desperate for, even if they don't know it yet.
And that leads perfectly into the third condition, which feels like the grand finale of the first two. It's ideal if you need a single linked system to connect everything.
This is the definitive reason you choose an ERP, any ERP. The source material is basically screaming integration.
Because most companies don't start out integrated, they grow organically.
Yeah, you grab a tool for this, a spreadsheet for that, and suddenly you have this Frankenstein's monster of a system.
And the hitting cost is the time everyone spends just trying to make sure the numbers match up across all those different platforms.
Precisely. That's the pain point Odoo's designed to surgically remove. If your biggest headache is that you can't trust your own data, then Odoo starts to look very, very appealing.
Okay, so we've mapped out the ideal user. A growing, complex company that's drowning in data silos and needs one brain to run the whole show.
Yep.
Now, let's flip it. This is probably even more important. Who should not be using Odoo? Who is set up for failure from day one?
I agree, this is critical. And the first warning is the clearest. Odoo is not for you if your work is very simple.
What does very simple actually mean here, though? Like, what's the line?
It's that sledgehammer and tack analogy. If you're, a micro business or a freelancer and all you need is basic invoicing and expense tracking,
Then Odoo is just, it's massive overkill.
total overkill. You're not buying efficiency, you're buying complexity you will never use, and you're still paying for it.
How so?
The implementation takes longer, the training is harder, the maintenance is for a system built for an international distributor, not, a local coffee shop. Simple problems need simple tools.
That makes a lot of sense. Now, the second profile is less about size and more about mindset. Odoo is a bad fit if you're not wanting to commit to a system.
And this is an implementation killer.
Uh,
It is absolutely an internal revolution.
a revolution.
Yes. Because a good ERP, it enforces discipline. It dictates the way to process an invoice, the way to approve a purchase order. There is a standard.
And what if a manager likes their own personal spreadsheet method that they've been using for 10 years?
That's where the project dies. That's the resistance. If your company culture fights against standardization, if people are always creating workarounds to do things their way,
Then Odoo will just become another source of frustration.
an incredibly expensive source of frustration. You have to be willing to bend your processes to the system, at least at first.
So if your company is famous for, like, letting every department do its own thing, that's a fundamental incompatibility.
Precisely. You're either investing in standardized efficiency or you're just paying a fortune to automate your existing bad habits.
Yeah.
Commitment is not optional here.
Okay, that's a big one. And the third warning is all about budget. It's a no-go if you're only seeking a free solution and that's it.
Right, and this is tricky because Odoo does have a free open source version.
The community edition.
Exactly. And people hear free and they stop thinking. But the license cost is just the tiny tip of a very, very large iceberg.
So what are the big hidden costs that people just don't see?
3 huge ones. First, technical services. Good Odoo consultants are not cheap. Second, data migration. Getting your messy historical data out of 10 old systems and into one clean database is a complex, expensive job.
You need experts for that. It's not a DIY project.
Not if you want it done right. And third is customization. If your business has really unique needs, you'll need custom development work, and that is very expensive.
So if your budget is literally zero, your implementation is probably going to fail before it even starts.
It's almost guaranteed.
Wow. Okay, so we've got the yeses and the nos pretty well defined. But there's one last piece of advice from the sources that feels like it sits on top of everything else. It's called the biggest mistake.
This is the most important takeaway, for sure, because it wraps everything we've talked about, commitment, maturity, into one idea. And the advice is very direct. It says, the biggest mistake is starting Odoo without a vision.
A vision. You know, that sounds so corporate and vague, like something from an annual report.
Right, but it's not. Here it means something incredibly practical, almost like an architectural blueprint.
Okay, so it's not a mission statement. What is it?
It means having predefined, measurable goals for what this system is supposed to achieve. Without that vision, the implementation team is just flying blind.
So before you even look at a single feature in Odoo, what does that blueprint need to have?
It needs serious internal pre-work, I'd say in 3 areas. First, a defined future state, not we want to be better.
More specific.
Way more specific, like our month-end close will take 3 days instead of 10, or we will have 99% inventory accuracy.
Okay, so you're defining the destination before you even start the car.
Exactly. Second, clear metrics. How will you actually measure success? A 20% reduction in order processing time. Fewer customer support calls about bad invoices. You have to establish that up front.
And the third area?
A detailed process map. You have to really know how you do things now, warts and all, and then map out exactly how Odoo is going to change and improve those specific processes.
If you can't do that work, then the implementation just becomes a chaotic mess of trying to recreate your old broken workflows in a new, expensive system.
And that's the danger. That's how you spend $1 million and end up no better off. Because Odoo is so flexible, a lack of vision means you just customize it into a mirror of your old problems.
Which brings it all back to suitability. Only those mature, growing, complex companies are likely to have the discipline to create that vision in the first place.
It all connects.
That's a really powerful framework. So to just quickly recap, Odoo is for organizations defined by complexity, by growth, and by a desperate need for integration.
And it is absolutely not for the simple business, the non-committal one, or the one looking for a free magic wand.
And above all else, the success hinges on that pre-work, the vision.
The software is just the engine. You have to have the map.
So if the biggest mistake is starting without a vision, then it seems like the real first step isn't choosing the software at all. It's defining that system-neutral blueprint for your company's future.
Exactly. Before you talk to a single sales rep, you need to have that document. And on that document should be the answer to one question. What is the single biggest operational metric you plan to improve with a unified system?
So for you listening, what does that blueprint look like for your organization? That's the work that has to happen right now.